This is going to be a replay viewing of a game I played with a friend of mine. I know some mistakes were made in this game, but I really enjoy this game because it shows how you can play this game with a lot of synergy between you and your teammate. To me, playing 2 versus 2 in this game is where it's at. And I honestly haven't even touched 101. In Company Heroes 1, I did enjoy 101 a lot, but I don't know. The way the commanders and everything interacted seemed interesting to me then. But anyway, so playing Germans in this game, I actually still feel Germans are way too strong in this game, but maybe I'll get to that as the game is going on. And I'm really just playing them to kind of keep up with the Germans. I normally just play Russians all the time because I feel like it's a challenge, and I like trying to figure the Russians out and understanding ways to try to beat the Germans. That being said, these Russians we play here did a pretty good job. The basic concept here is that I skip tier 1 and just make a bunch of engineers, and I run around capping, and I try to grab like the important building for Dion, who will put an MG in this church. So I quickly grab the relevant points while also heading to the church as fast as possible. Dion will go for tier 1. Looks like he started off with the Grenadier squad, which is maybe questionable, but not a big deal. Ideally, he will use his rockets to kill cars, but he is extremely new to Germans, so some mistakes are made in that regard. But that is the concept of he will make MGs, maybe a mortar team, and a couple of these guys, actually maybe 2 to 3 of them, to hold off the scout cars to get the MG42, which is really good against infantry, and basically heal cap points with his manpower on the ground. While my engineers are okay now. Engineers are actually pretty solid. They got their little, was it MP40? And they can do some work early game, especially in hordes. So I'm not too worried about them. Some people, they're good to have like for the flamethrower, but I'm rushing for the flame car, which isn't anything new to anyone that plays this game. Flame car is really ridiculous, and every time it gets veterancy, it gets more and more ridiculous. So I got more guys coming up. Another thing I do, and maybe it's questionable, I'm not saying that I'm displaying any kind of mega strategies, but I like to get munitions upgrades on these points. Oops, got a little greedy there. But I like to spam munitions like crazy. I feel like munitions is sort of that hidden uncapped resource. Manpower can be frustrating because when you have the lead, you basically gain no manpower. And gasoline doesn't really help me out. I mean, obviously gasoline's great and sort of, especially early, as fast as you can get it, but I mean, even I've watched a few 101 games, and even the people who play 101 that are, as far as I understand, good at the game, they usually don't upgrade too much for gasoline like you see in multiplayer games. So I definitely see the relevance of rushing for gasoline to get like that big tank out or upgrade quickly, but I don't know. I feel like trying to skip tiers too quickly is kind of a noob strategy, and I'm only saying that from my brief experience. So I was hoping the MG would pin them and my guys would kind of overwhelm, but since Mike's kind of put his grenadiers, we still have quite an advantage, and now it's in my interest to get away from this building, which is also MG'd. Most likely they were trying to go to the church, but we just took it. Pioneers are trying to get in on this. I think actually, yeah, see here, I'm upgrading to flames. I was thinking maybe I could flank and get behind. I normally, like I said, don't normally do something like that, but it seemed like the opportunity was there, and I'm behind. I have tier 1 upgraded, but no engineers available, since they're all busy. One resource of this game that is super important that a lot of people don't realize is time. Like, I'll show you right here. I put these engineers in this building, which holds up quite a bit of forces. And I'm basically stealing time away from these guys, so they're not taking this, they're not going down here and taking my munitions that I want really badly. They're busy just standing here using mortars and this group right here. So that's a resource you guys need to keep in mind. Another thing is this point on this map is super important, just as much as this one. If you take these points, you cut off like the whole left of the land. So you'll actually see me even upgrade this point, which is sort of aggressive because, like, here I go. Because obviously I'm going to lose 200 manpower when it gets destroyed, and it's almost guaranteed to be destroyed. But what it does is completely, basically pisses them off and forces their attention. Now you can hear, I can hear a car right here. Now before we started Mike's job, as he's upgrading to his MGs, I say Mike, his name's Dion, but see, this Panzerfaust is the reason, like I'm telling him, just, look, he's got two of them, one right here and one right here. Two groups that can kill scout cars, but things don't actually go that well for some reason, and I end up having to build an armored car, which is fine, because tier 2 can do that. See, I could right here build this scout car to kill their scout car. That's pretty much its only purpose in this game. It's kind of silly, but it is what it is. It can't kill infantry in buildings. It can't kill infantry almost in general. So right here is just sniping this, but that's kind of pointless. Sniper in a scout car is pretty frustrating. You have to kind of remember to stop the car every shot, otherwise you get like this abysmal hit rate. And he's killing all my engineers, which is kind of obnoxious. Let's see, where the heck is Mike's other guys? Did he lose him right here? I think he did. I was wondering, where the heck are you, Mike? Because he had the one retreating. Yeah, forces my retreat. So that's not great. And now here I don't want him to see this. I'm kind of being careful about getting too close. Nope. That being said, I drive right into it. Here we go. Here we come with the finally the... So we ran them all the way down. And finally they're going to get that rocket off. Wow, and they... Oh, you know what? They probably got hit by this. Now, killing those snipers is really important. One down. But whatever, he gets away. It happens frequently. So now we got the church. Holding these guys up. I'm telling them to get them out of the church so I can revive them. And then here we go, a flame car. I wonder if they have... What is this? What is this guy's? Dirty something? Let's see, does he have... I guess I'm not going to be able to see. Let's just see if they have the anti-tank thing. Let's go back to me. So not... Since they have no anti-vehicle themselves, they're getting mauled. Now, I've played Russians a lot, and I know, personally, I love the scout car strategies, be it a snipers or flames, but it's been nerfed heavily, and when you do go for that scout car strategy, it's very risky because you really open yourself up to the flame half track. This being because it takes a lot of fuel to get those cars, and that fuel is taking away from your... This is so silly with this damn freezing thing. But anyway, long story short, they're using up all their fuel, which means they can't upgrade to kill flame cars. And to kill a flame car, you're going to usually want guard infantry or the anti-tank thing. But if you're going scout cars, you don't have the building for anti-tank. And to build that building requires more fuel, which you're not going to have because it takes fuel to make these scout cars. These guys are probably dead, yeah. Now I have my car. I was kind of mad at my... I said, fine, I'll just build this thing and get rid of it. I normally wouldn't want to do this. Kind of slows me down. But you'll see here, literally the only purpose of this car is to kill these. There it goes. Now you see here how it fails miserably in killing infantry. It's really quite poor. And if infantry are in the buildings, I've actually lost these things to an MG while it's in the building. I don't know. Maybe we should call it me, but a car with a big gun on the top, you'd think it could handle a heavy machine gun in a house, but maybe apparently not. So one thing is this tends to be sort of the blizzard spot for here, and this team generally uses this. So a good trick is to kill the fire pit. The reason we haven't killed this fire pit, that sucks, is because we aggressively want to stand here and feel we can handle it. So, waiting for all my engineers. I tend to fit sort of a repair role in this since I built so many engineers. I take the anti-tank because Russians can rush for those T-34s and you need something to stop it. So Mike goes tier 1 and then tier 3. So let's see, he's got his tier 3 already up. And I suspect he'll have a Panzer soon. See, this is why owning the church is amazing. These guys can't cap while pinned. I'm just going to go and clean it up. I'm spamming the vision here. I love using all my munitions on that, since I really don't use my munitions for much. I mean, the flame car ideally isn't going to die. I go for rocket cars, and I will use the munitions for the Panzer Grenadiers. So I don't remember, my car gets squeamish here. I think it's because I'm worried about this, and I don't want to lose it. Here it's frustrating because I really want those snipers to die. That's no big deal. Playing it safe here. I don't know where their mortars are coming from. Yeah, so they have that thing right there, so it's smart for me not to go up. And we see the mortars coming in here. Oh, they're killing the church. And I believe at this point I'm being asked to go help the church. I'm waiting for the vision over here. See, I'm telling him, go up, go up. I'll get him out of that building, don't worry. And when you're using the flame car, you want it to hit the 2 stars. So this significantly reduces damage taken. Actually, you want 3 stars, because that's the significantly increases damage done. But still, damage taken is great, because you can take a few hits from a tank now. Now I'm going to stop this mortar team. Great pathing. Flame car's a little funny how it targets. Because when it's shooting like these mortar teams, there's always like that guy in the back that it wants to kill first. It's just the way the game works. It's funny how these things slide around the ice. Look at this guy. It's like a drunk. So, we've got them on their heels pretty hard. It would have been nice if Mike could keep a couple of these here, maybe even put something on top of them to slow them down, but it is what it is. So he's got his tier 3, and I'm trying to get my tier 4. It looks like I'm building it right now. When I get tier 4, I just get the rocket cars. I try to rely on vision and our teamwork. Basically, Russian infantry is superior to German infantry, but there's a lot of catches to that. It's sort of like if the Germans try to push in on a ball of Russian infantry, it's normally near impossible. But the Russian rocket truck sucks compared to the German one because it's very slow in the way it unloads its payload. Obviously I'm running away because this tank is a problem for me, but I have these guys hanging back and I'm going to move them up. My goal is one on this and one over here. You always want to create kind of a crossfire with these guns. You never want to put them together in any way at all. So Mike disabled the thing, so now it's sort of a sitting duck. I should have ran that guy out. I was too busy trying to get my guns up. I'm trying to bait a little too with the flame car. It's amazing. Even this little tank does a pretty poor job of getting things out of a building. These T-70s are interesting. Here we go. So we don't know now. Well, actually, I guess I do know because there's Fog Wars on. But we got a tank here, and that guy's dead. So now, Mike says, "Don't worry, I'm coming." His tank's coming up. We got snipers in there. They're gonna melt. Flame car will kill the sniper through the car, and they're dead already. A little chaotic here. I'm trying to get the flame car out. He's gotten pinned. Get this tank to get in here. I'm kind of pinned here, but oh, managed to get him out. And now since he has made a decision, he has to run. I mean, 134 is not going to be the Panzer, and so I can chill here and kill these guys. Interesting, they still aren't disabling this thing, which is a huge mistake. Oh, there we go. Hit the 3rd star. Significantly increased weapon damage. Gonna get him his MG upgrade. And I'm sure right now I'm wondering where my engineers are. There we go. Apparently they all died. I had one die up here. But a lot of the teamwork is coming into play here. His tank to defend my half-track, my half-track to get more infantry for his guys. His clowns are all freezing to death, but it's important to take this stuff. A lot of the metagame right now is what you do during blizzards. Any kind of car, especially, I love when I play Russians to use the half-track during blizzards. You can get a lot of stuff you don't deserve through that. He decides to take the church, which ends up, I think, being a death of his infantry, but still, if taken by surprise, he could do some things there. Some falling back to the fireplace, but of course pathing's all fun. I'm gonna watch as these guys take the longest possible route to this location. Look at this. What is going on? If these vehicles move even the tiniest amount, the engineers won't do their job. Look at they went around, split up. But you really got to be quick with the stop key to try to get those quick repairs. Now here we go with the rocket, my first one. Got some more packs coming in. And this is where the coordination starts to come in, because if we see infantry balls, which are very scary. No, here he should have got out of there. That church down. If you see balls of infantry, that's when you can find this rocket launcher does its work. So also, if I can kill their anti-tank guns, then his tanks can beat a tank for tank battle. And if there's balls of guard squadron, I can rocket those. And then the key is to flank with the half-track, which is now 3-star general, which, to be honest, I get this pretty much every game. I mean, the half-track's so ridiculous if you play with it right and don't get greedy. So here, get some pot shots. Wasn't that great. I think I killed 2 of those guys, or were they 4 all the time? I'm not sure. The 1 rocket truck just isn't enough. 2 is minimum, 3 is what I like to have. I like to know when I shoot something, it's gonna die. So I got some Panzer Grenadiers with the rockets. I use these guys to sort of defend my rocket cars if a tank goes crazy. The rockets just devastate T-34s, and they'd be too stupid to rush in with any other kind of tank since they're so immobile. But you do always want to keep the rocket cars like a level behind your front lines, because they may try to flank and you don't want them to find these. They die very quickly. One thing that's actually amazing is you put a guard squad in a half-track and you flank with that, they will kill these things in pretty much like 1 barrage. Now, this is where the tough half-track comes into play. Normally a tank would destroy this thing, but look at this thing. It's barely dying. Now, I've been landing landmines as well. Another reason to love munitions. You know, one greedy Russian driving into landmines is pretty much a death sentence for him. Got just the one gun there, so I'm hanging back. I'm just hanging back and repairing. I don't want to get too greedy. Mike is doing all the work right now. For some reason they seem it's important to pin my guys and not all this stuff, so whatever. I think this mortar team is... I'm gonna get a little bit gutsy here because I feel like I can do it. Ooh. This tank is distracted, so I can hang out here a little bit. Good old flame car. I decided to stay here. It looks like his engineers are planning on maybe repairing. Some nice free kills. We got this thing shooting. I'm too disabled to get in there. There's a tank here and this anti-tank, so my flame car is useless now, and he's disabled. Looks like they... Yeah, he looks like he used his grenade launcher thing to kill that, and then he's got to run. I'm using these guys to cap over here. I'm kind of hoping that tank will come in, and we can put in the flank. Gotta move my gun up, hoping it'll come down, which it does. Takes that hit. So, these guys are really watching your flank more than being up in the front lines. Boom. Oh, misses. He's got this. I run this guy over to get him out. I think his tank gets away. Let's find out. Tank? I think that's the tank. So he got away, his engine wasn't disabled, they're fast. This doesn't bother us too much because we're resupplying. And flame car's back in action. So if they chase the flame car around, I got my rocket guys. I like to have two of them, two of the Panzer Grenadiers. Just one isn't enough to melt tanks too much. And any more of that's just too expensive. Another thing about them that's good is just throwing a grenade, which is another munitions sink, but very powerful. I've killed a guard squad in one grenade before, full health. If they're balled up, it happens. So, what do we got? That guy's freezing to death over here. So that's why they're a little split up, two rocket groups. And now I'm gonna scout out with the plane, see what's going on. So I see them all balled up. So I'm just tallying up my rocket cars now. They're gonna do a little bit more now that I'm starting to get more of them. I think I'm even gonna try to build, not yet, but I can build another. Yeah, I think I'm gonna kill these guys. It's kind of fun when the airplanes flying around in the blizzard. Blizzards tend to be kind of a rallying time. Gather the troops. I'm a little frustrated with how little munitions I have. There we go. So, rocket cars are... You also want the rocket cars to shoot together at the same time. So I didn't want to take like one at a time and let them get away. Here we go. Hit these guys. And one good hit on there. The rocket cars are interesting. They don't really like hit where you aim. It's more like the lottery. So there's a big circle, and then they hit, in my opinion, something like 25 to 30% of what's in that circle. So every time you add one, though, you're kind of taking another spot in that circle. So ideally, if you have 3, I mean 4 would be super, but 4 is just too expensive, and the gas hit is hard. But in 4, I think you'd pretty much hit everything in that circle, period. But with 2, you hit about, in my opinion, maybe 70-ish to 75% of the circle, and with 3, I'd say hit about 90-ish% of the circle. And in most cases with 3, you will kill... You could kill... Like this group right here, you could literally, with 3 of these, kill all of this. I don't even think... Maybe, like, 1 or 2 survivors. Which is kind of what you're looking for. You're looking for those moments when they're making their big push and they're betting everything on that push. That tends to be how these 2v2s work, and obviously 3v3s and etc. Bunker's better placement would have been like here, but I'm not really thinking about that. Just waiting for this blizzard to die out. Got another anti-tank. The anti-tanks are nice because they don't cost munitions or gas, so when your manpower starts to build up. He's got the 2 tanks. Now, Mike's got this idea, which is a good one, to use a couple of his grenadiers here to sort of keep them busy on the right while we're hanging out middle. People tend to pull all their resources off a spot once things are going bad, which things are going bad for these guys. Here we go, I got my 3rd rocket car. And I just try to keep them together in the back. See, you would consider this sort of front lines at this point, and then this might be sort of mid, and then this would be back. So, we suspect, I mean, the blizzard's gonna end soon. Tanks can drive around in a blizzard. A little risky doing this, but at the same time, I mean, like clockwork, there they are taking the sector exactly when he gets there, so it works out great. The tanks can start some fights. It's really what you want. We need somebody to initiate. And then see, I moved up these rocket cars. I'm keeping them in a safe distance in the back, but keeping an eye on things, waiting for my moment. And then I declare that I'm going to shoot it right here and for him to back off. And his tank kind of freaks out right there. I mean, that was literally warped. But I'm like, get ready, here they come. And there we go, squad's down. Mortar team's injured. Not the best shot, but, you know, getting those rockets out now is good, because now they're regenerating for the next shot. Now my flame car is going to follow him around looking for flanking positions, or just to help him out. Now here comes the tank, so I'm going to run away. Try to bait some aggression. Now we got my plane up, so we see everything that's going on out of line of sight. So I can see that I'm pretty safe getting in my flame car in here. You see here, I try to keep the maximum distance. Once your car gets pretty strong, you don't really need to get in their face. I don't want to play too... Here I'm trying to... I do take a hit anyway, but I try to cut off because that tank started moving in. Now right here is another ideal sort of rocket situation. And these guys are ready. I'm bringing in the rocket truck guys to sort of watch for aggressive tanks. And I believe... Yeah, here we go. I'm going to call in another shot. And see, they can see those shots where you're shooting from. So, in a way, it's sort of a bait, too. And there you go. Whole squad lost. This guy's got injured. Tank took a hit. Let's see what else. Yeah, this building took some hits. Not impressive. I've literally had games with 285 plus kills, and more half of it was the rockets. So some maps that are more claustrophobic. Now see here, the tank gets overly aggressive, surprised by rockets, and has to run almost dead. Being crazy aggressive here just because we can. We know what they have. We know that we've got huge resource advantage. Able to even get out. Just repairing the car. I'm gonna resupply all these guys. And now here comes the tanks. At this point, we're so convinced of our advantage that I believe at this point too, Mike's asking me to repair this tank. So I'm like, hold on a second. Here, I'm right here now. And then I'm gonna ball up. A little dangerous balling up like this, but you know, through here, like anything coming, we'll run away. Still has these 2 tanks. They know we're here. They're coming in. Let's really just clean up. It's good flanking by Mike. It's going to force this tank, or this gun, to make a choice. Not sure why he's just going straight in like this. I don't even think he cares. Oh, and I'm just bombing another thing. Oh, alright. Yeah, I think I selected the house like way earlier and told him watch out. I'll actually kill some of my own tanks there. Like a mortar hit one of his tanks too. Oh, that gun's shooting far. Holy cow. I'll just play keep the fog of war off at this point. So the plane's giving me vision of this. I think because I have extra munitions, I decided to Stuka this guy. Again, it's pretty much over. It's just clean up now. Wow, look at the distance on that. Yeah, wow, that was so sweet. You can see the shadow of the Stuka go by before it dropped that bomb. And I think Mike sees me do that, so he decides to do the same. Probably to this guy. Since I'm trying to flank here, but it doesn't work out. Let's see if we get that. Yeah, it's done. And that's what happens when you have lots of munitions. You can do stuff like that. See, I'm resupplying as I'm fighting, which is always sweet. These flames are just ridiculous. They have to know it's over by now. So we missed it, but Mike took this star here with his 2 grenadier squads during all this fighting. Which is nice. Good guard squads, but they'll always lose to the rockets. I don't even think I get another shot in with these guys. Yeah, they're just hanging out. It's literally too late. There's no tickets left. But I would have shot right here or something. We're not running way where we normally would. This is just lazy killing. But there you go. I don't know if this was like an overall impressive game or anything like that, but it's fun when you get that teamwork and you stagger the tiers, you know. So you have me skipping tier 1, go to tier 2, then skipping tier 3 to go to tier 4, getting those rockets for the infantry slaying. Having that initiative to, like, what happens a lot of times in this game if you don't have rockets is there's this thing where both teams have mortars, are mortaring each other, both teams have lines of anti-tank guns, and no one wants to flinch. And unfortunately, if they've pushed you back, you're forced into horrible situations. With the rockets, you can constantly be the aggressor, and you decide what's going on at all times, and you just need a little bit of vision to utilize them. In a one-on-one, I could see where maybe not the greatest strategy, too many resources for too much risk. But in these multiplayer games, it's pretty much a critical strategy to how to win. That's what I found. That's why it's really actually quite frustrating to play as the Russians, because their cards just aren't as good. I feel like with the Russians, though, they have... I don't know. I guess I could do a video with them next. But you see here my 285 kills with this map, which is... It is pretty cheesy. We never even got to the elephants, and I guess I forgot to talk about Commander because it wasn't that relevant in this game, but the Commander gives you elephant. You saw the Commander I was using, but that elephant is ridiculous, and that would be something I'd get, or both of us would get at some point, because we do use the same Commander. I hate to really say anything negative about Company Heroes 2, but there is really like one good Commander for both sides. The others are more for fun or toys. It's not even fair how good each commander is. The Russian commander is the one that has like the hunker down ability and has that plane that pins them down, and it gives the infantry, the MGs, those opponents we're playing were using it. Anyway, hope this was fun or interesting to the people watching, and have a good day. Bye.